Good afternoon, it's Saturday afternoon here. Now I have a very, very urgent and quite sad message which we need to be aware of and we need to understand its consequences. I've just received in from a friend in Holland a very important piece written with Martin Armstrong. Now Martin Armstrong, most of you who follow economics will know he's an incredibly clever guy, incredibly well sought by governments and corporations for advice. Now, what Martin is saying is extremely serious. He's interpreting the actions of Chancellor Merz of Germany and Ursula von der Leyen of the EU, and he's coming up with some horrible conclusions. Horrible for the world, horrible for Europe, horrible for Russia, horrible for NATO, horrible for all the troops who might be involved, because it looks like Germany is leading the way for NATO to put 250,000 troops on the ground and possibly into Russia. He says his desire for war with Russia makes him unfit to manage even parking meters, let alone the government. He calls him a traitor. Now, how can you call Merz a traitor? Well, because the first rule of government is to protect your people. And going to war is not protecting his people. Martin, like me, if I'd seen this without reading Martin's comments, I'd have said the same. This is because of the economy, stupid. The economy in Europe is falling apart. So they need a distraction. This is the same as happens. It's the same game plan, time and time and time again. If all else fails, go to war. Now, let's think about all the things I've told you up to now. Now, I'm going to send you, link below, I'm going to send you what is the Dutch version of Martin's comments, but all you've got to do is tap the top where it says English and it will give you the English translation. Okay. If that fails, go to something like Google and just put in Martin Armstrong warns of war in Europe, and I'm sure you'll get the article in English. Okay? If you're English, you may be Dutch. All right. So what does it mean? What does it mean financially? If we're going to concentrate on finance, which was really the purpose of this site, although I'm trying to bring you the truth in anything, and I'll bring you the truth in health later on this week, but at the moment, it's all about money. And what happens if Germany provokes NATO to go to war with Russia through Ukraine? Well, we know, don't we, because we've talked about this, we know that no one wants the dollar. I gave you the bond crisis in Japan today, Saturday morning, in the earlier video. I gave you the bond crisis in Japan. So no one wants the yen, no one wants the dollar. Are they going to want the euro if Europe's at war? No. Do they want the pound? No. Where are we going with this? Where are we going? What can they buy? What can they seek for safety? They don't want the dollar. They don't want the euro. They don't want the yen. They don't want the pound. No one wants the yuan. What will they buy? In my world, it seems logical. They will buy, as the theme of this whole YouTube site has been since we started, gold, silver, XRP. Okay? They will benefit because the money is going to be desperately trying to find a safe home. And Martin picks up two key dates in this. He says August the 4th and August the 18th. Now, I haven't read it in depth yet to come up with what those dates really truly mean in Martin's eyes, but he's an extremely good commentator. And this is an emergency broadcast to you because this is an emergency. Okay? If we see Europe going to war with Russia, this is a desperate emergency for the world. Now, Martin is an economist first and foremost, and he sees this as being driven totally by the collapsing economy of the EU, and it is collapsing. Now, what have we learnt in the 5 weeks that I've been on this channel? We've learnt China is collapsing. We've learnt jobs are going in Australia, UK, Canada, US. We've learnt that. Okay? So now we know there are collapsing economies, and we know what politicians do when economies collapse. If all else fails, go to war. So this is a sad moment, but it's also a moment when we have to be realistic. We have to understand what's coming, because we're trying to protect ourselves, our family, our friends. Please share this video, like it, subscribe it. Let's get it out there. Let's get it out to people who won't even know this is happening. They won't have a clue. Life is fine. I'm watching the football. I'm watching the cricket. I'm watching the golf. Life's fine. No, it's not. Because there are leaders in this world, so-called, who Martin says couldn't manage a parking meter, who are taking countries possibly to war. And in that case, I'll repeat it, gold, silver, XRP. Thank you very much.